Hi, my name is Logan, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Pixels. Sorry, I really couldn't come up with anything creative for this. I could have maybe made some video game noises? I don't know. So, this is what you get. So, I'm just going to start off by giving a list of the main characters. So, there are five main characters, and I will start with the most main character. Sam Brenner, who is obviously played by Adam Sandler. He was a 1980s Pac Man champion. And then we get William Cooper, who is the President of the United States, and he is Sam Brenner's best friend. Then we get Lieutenant Colonel Violet Van Patten, who is a weapons developer and a military specialist. So then we get Eddie Plant. He is the champion of the very first video arcade game championship. He won. And he is actually based off of real life Pac Man and Donkey Kong champion Billy Mitchell, both in his personality and his looks. Then we get Josh Gad, who is a conspiracy theorist, and he's also a genius, but he has very, very poor social skills. He is also in love with this video game girl, whose name slips my mind at the moment. So it starts off when they're all 13, and Sam Brenner and Eddie Plant are facing off against each other in the very first video game arcade tournament. And the government had decided they're going to send footage of them playing the video games to space to see if they can get extraterrestrials to receive the footage. Well, the extraterrestrials do receive it about 40 years later. Or maybe not 40 years, but everyone's in their 40s. And that's how long we skip. So we skip to present day, and Sam Brenner is just a guy who works tech at like a company called Nerd. And William Cooper is president, obviously. Eddie Plant is now in jail, and Josh Gad is still a conspiracy theorist who is living in his grandma's basement. His grandma's basement! That is the all-time low. So we then see Sam Brenner setting up some PS4s and TVs for Violet's son. And so Violet is getting a divorce with her husband because he cheated on her with a 19-year-old girl. And she starts crying about it, and so Sam tries to comfort her, and they really hit it off, and Sam tries to kiss her, but then she gets all offended, and they suddenly hate each other. Then it cuts to an attack by the aliens, and they attack and kidnap someone. So the president calls for Sam, and he says, "Hey, I think that these people look exactly like the Galaga people." And Sam's like, "Oh my gosh, you're right." So they eventually, so Sam gets in the meeting, and it's all going well, but everyone else in the government and Congress and all that are not really happy with the fact that they have a nerd who is trying to run things. So Sam gets kicked out, but then the aliens attack again, and they kidnap another person. So the president is finally like, "Okay, fine, we'll have the nerds go in charge, because what choice do we have?" So they play a game of real life Galaga in which there's like all these stuff going on, and they have to shoot this worm and all that, and it's actually really cool. So the military is all shooting at them, but they aren't doing a good job. So finally Sam takes in and he starts shooting at them, and then he has Josh take in too. And they end up winning the game. Well, the aliens say that was only round one, so they have to prepare for their next one. Well, they're worried that it might be Donkey Kong, and Sam kind of doesn't he kind of sucks at good Donkey Kong. So they have to call in Eddie Plant, who is in jail. So they agree that they will let him out of jail and drop all charges if he will help them. So the game actually ends up being Pac-Man, and they do end up winning, but the aliens get mad because it turns out that one of them cheated. And so the aliens say, well, we're just going to take over the world now. You have no choice, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and also for winning the game of Pac-Man, they got a trophy, and it's this little guy. So anywho, the aliens start attacking Earth, but they give them one more chance, and they get to play Donkey Kong. And we learned that back in 1980, Eddie actually cheated at Donkey Kong, so Sam really is the champion of Donkey Kong. So Sam ends up winning Donkey Kong, and the aliens all explode. Except for one alien, and that's the little guy that they got. He turns into the video game girl that Josh has been in love with, and they get married and live happily ever after. And meanwhile, Sam gets with Lieutenant Colonel Violet Van Patten, and William Cooper gets with Martha Stewart and one other celebrity. I think they just go to have sex. So I'll start off with the good things about this movie. Well, the good things are the character development wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. There was a little bit of character development in there, if not much, but there was a little. There were times when it made me laugh. There were some times where I was like, that's pretty funny. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the good things. Now, there's so many bad things that I'm just going to pretty much say that the storyline sucked. I mean, why are they sending footage of video game fighting to aliens? Of course they're going to take that as a threat. And, like, there's a lot of places where it was like they're trying to make you feel for these characters when they really haven't set up any development for these characters yet, especially at the beginning. And also, I just thought, overall, it was pretty weird. Like, there was a part where Eddie Plant cheated, and he's like, all he had to do was write the cheat code in his sunglasses. What's up with that? But yeah. So overall, I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10 because even though it was a terrible movie overall, there were some times when it made me laugh, and overall it had some character development. So this has been Comic Lovers. Please subscribe. If you liked this video, you might like my video on the different types of superheroes that there are in all comics. Or you might like my video on the different levels of mutants, which apply strictly to Marvel. My next video will be Iron Man versus Captain America. Who would win? And I will post that tomorrow. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time, and bye!